Hello guys, welcome back. So I ordered the book. It hasn't shipped yet. We knew I would order the book. Odin doesn't honestly, he asks you to do a lot of things to improve yourself, but he doesn't usually ask for things. Well, he asks for food. Um, but as for things that would be a financial extra, he usually doesn't ask. I mean, he let me make runes out of a cardboard box and a Sharpie marker, so he's usually not fussy. And if I could make dough at home and make my own rune set, that would be lovely. But it's nothing usually financial sense. In fact, he has ravens and other things on the door now that I had to make the templates the old-fashioned way. And that was something else because I had to really dig around in my head and figure out how to do this, and we got it done. So usually he doesn't ask you to spend unless he thinks it's good food, or in my experience, or he thinks it's important. And I know you're going to ask why would a god that in the Lord never eats and only drinks wine want good food? He wants good food. I don't know. The wolves eat well. I have no idea, but I get this idea he eats, and he eats a lot. I always try to think, was it a poet being alliterative? Was it a poet being, poetic when they describe some things, or was it, a commonly held belief, which we don't know. So that happened. And I'm going to be watching a bunch of lectures by the professor, and he actually seems to be really down to earth. You basically get two types in the English department, in my experience. You get the really down to earth, cool Joe type, and you get Professor knoweth more than you. And I would rather hear Joe Cool give me a lecture than Professor Know More Than You, because they get pedantic and they start to use languages they know damn well you don't know, and it just a fault. And they look at you very superiorly. And if you say, Professor, I was never exposed to Latin, could you please translate that? They just give you an icy glare. And, it's like, I would rather have Joel Cool do it. So we're having the books come. And Great Woe and Tragedy. The Tolkien was in Pittsburgh, so I expected it today. And I don't know why they sometimes do this, but it will be as close as Pittsburgh, and then they'll decide where it needs to go, Harrisburg. No! Book! No! Book! No! So now it's in Harrisburg, so now I have to wait a couple more days. I don't know why they do it. It's like, shouldn't mail go in a straight line to where it's going? I don't understand how the mail system's set up, but I do understand no. And after I ordered him the book, because something just told me, order it. I found it, like, for the cheapest price possible. I realized that you can get an ebook, and ebooks don't run out, but there are, um, about 10 copies I saw. That's including Amazon, Walmart, eBay, trying to look in textbook stores. Maybe I didn't check enough textbook stores, but I saw 10 copies of this book. I think 6 of which come from the UK. So there are about 4 copies in the US floating around. And I'm like, I'm really surprised, because usually the arts departments, English, the arts, archaeology, any of the departments that you would think have to have an artistic flair, are perpetually poor and need to sell, either plasma or the books back. But this just came out last year, and I guess people were holding on to their textbook. In my day, the English department, we always held on to our textbooks, but you try to unload everything else. But apparently the people that bought these textbooks are holding on to them. So, I got it, at least. And it's always the textbook you need that is never in the, greatly discounted textbook store. So that happened. And it's just been interesting because somebody asked me, we were discussing Apollo, and we all know how fond Odin is of Apollo in this house. Kavit, we never know if it was really Apollo because this house. And they would always give the exact opposite advice. And when I made the decision to simply go to Odin for advice, Odin calmed down, his advice got more sensible, and he very much liked being my counsel. He does not want you to have, I mean, I can go to other Norse gods or goddesses, but for whatever reason with me, he didn't want me having this outside counsel because it seemed like they went out of their way to give countermanding advice, and I was stuck in the middle with no advice at all. I think what it was, and take us the right way, is that they both saw me and figured, well, that's going to be my human. Do my things. Do my research. Do the studies I want. Learn the divination I want. Learn the histories I want. Come here, human. Come here. I have something for you to do. And it was not that, not like, ooh, look at this great, great honor bestowed on me. It was, they see your aptitude, whether it's a great aptitude or you're really going to have to struggle at it, and they'll pick you for that. The gods get something out of the deal too. And I think Apollo was like, no, this will be my student to learn and to study divination and study that. And Odin's like, no, she's coming over here and learning Old Norse. Come here, sweetie, come here. And so Odin won, and it's a, I think I made the right decision. I know I did, because Odin, once he's settled, once he doesn't think he has any rivals, he's a lot calmer, and he's to contrast the two, Odin, it's like looking into a deep well. Yes, I know. And with Apollo, it was like you were just getting this little fraction of advice, of, he would talk to you, but at the same time I think he was withholding a lot of stuff because Odin was always prowling around the periphery. That's why I can't have any nice things, Odin. And I'm sensing this smile. But Odin would always be prowling around the periphery. And he would hear the advice, and he would ask me, even though I'm sure he knew, he would say, what kind of advice did he give you? And I would tell him, he goes, oh, that's stupid advice. This is what you need to do. And why are you talking to that lackwit? So Odin, he likes his territory. He really does. And Loki has been really happy because Loki has a lot more room because Loki got rid of Hermes. And they haven't been shy of showing me they want an all-Norse household. And they might not do that with other people, but with me, they're like, no. And they use some kind of tenuous bridge of, you were an English major, we own you. They have a point. They have a point. We learned Beowulf in the Old English. They have a point, but still, honestly. They're very, with me, they're very clannish. I think that a lot of the open house of awesome could have been Loki or Odin doing, okay, my phone went off, doing illusions. And, I thought yesterday, as I was so sick and this thing while Apollo came up, I'm like, oh, Lord Apollo. It could have been Apollo. It could have been Odin. Because I tell Odin the truth. When something comes up, I go, hey, come look at this. One, it was a video done. It could just be the universe's timing. And two, Odin doesn't share well with others. It's the only thing I can say. It does seem to be a bit of rivalry. Like, it's a rivalry with Loki and just about anyone else. They're very much like Lou. Anything you can do, I can do better. They will even compete with each other. Odin will compete with Odin, and he will, and he knows it, and so will Loki. Loki will compete with Loki. If Loki can do this thing, and I've had this experience, Loki can do it better. And I will watch him standing there just about freaking out because Loki did this thing, so how can Loki do it better? And I will say, but you are Loki. And he will turn and give you that withering glare. And you'll be like, yeah, but you're literally, okay, you know what? You can do it better. Loki can't do anything. Yeah, Loki can't. Hey! so, In this house, you have to live by your wits. But I feel a lot better. We're going to spend more time with the Tolkien since I'm not going to be getting my other Tolkien for a while yet. I was in despair when I saw it went backwards instead of forwards, but I was like, why? So Harrisburg has my book. Harrisburg, give me my Tolkien back. And I'm going to watch the professor's lecture and do some other good stuff. I'm going to take it easy. We're not in the hole, and like I said, Odin does not actually ask for much. He does like his food. He does like his food. He does like certain other things, but usually he doesn't ask for things. Now the Patreon finally cleared, and I asked Loki, I said, do you want candles? Because I don't trust him, as I said, with the kind of candles we have left. They're literally emergency candles. If the power should go out, God's forbid, for 3 or 4 days. That's what they're there for. No, we have the money. Candles. Loki, God of Fire. No. Loki, do you want candles? No. What he'll do is he'll wait until we spend the Patreon money on something else, and he'll come back and he'll go, hey, you didn't give me candle. I literally offered them to you. But we had been down to 2 packs. We have the pack that we like, the rainbow colored ones I've shown you. The house is rainbow color, the wax is clear. Opaque. But there's also another pack where you would get about double the candles, though. The rule of thumb is if you buy something very cheap, you may burn your house down. So you kind of have to, like dollar store candles are fine, but if you find 400, 500 candles for like just a couple dollars, you may want to assume that that's something that could start a forest fire. You may not want to buy it inside. In the early days when I used to get candles, and everybody that's old enough can attest to this, you would get these pretty candles from the dollar store, and you would use them on your altar because they'd be skulls and be all these amazing shapes. Did you know wax can catch on fire? Yeah, most wax doesn't, but if it's made in a country where they're like fire safety, psh, and it's sold in this country, yes, I actually watched wax catch on fire, and I went and I told I was studying English at the time. I went and I told the English professor, and she goes, that's fascinating. What do you think it's made of? So I brought the candle in, and we're looking at it. And we were going to have the science department look at it, and they just looked at us kind of cross-eyed, like, don't you dare. So I don't know if it was they would, the outside would be colored, but you would assume it would be a colored wax, and it would be safe because, it was not sold as a novelty just to look at. It was sold as a candle to burn. Wax can catch on fire. It was fascinating. And she was like, "Oh, were you reading Shakespeare?" Oh. So, I can kind of see why I ended up with Odin because he's very much the god with me of the English department and learning things. He has all the books he could want for now. For now. Once I've read them all, then he'll find other books he wants. We will be perpetually poor. We will have a fine library, but we will be perpetually poor. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and don't worry about Loki. He'll come around to his candles eventually, I think. So I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.